Hi, I'm Andrew Pap, BeFit Training Ambassador, and I'm sitting with head physiotherapist Andrew. And today we're going to be talking about movement versus ego. At BeFit Training, we like to train hard, and we like to lift up the intensity and put the stresses on the body needed to have a positive adaptation. However, there are moments where we can put our ego in front of us and be susceptible to injury or overtrain or overexert ourselves. And I think I just want to ask Andrew your question. What are things that you're looking for in terms of overcoming ego?
So we're always looking, first of all, for movement quality. If you're trying to get the weight up too heavy and you're losing all of those nice movement patterns that we work so hard to build on, and you go into that pattern and start lifting with really poor technique, you're really opening yourself to injury. The main reason I say that is because we've had all this form and we've developed all this muscle strength through, I suppose, the specific muscles that we're training. And then we go in and we add a poor technique and we're just overloading the tissues in the incorrect way. Coupled that with fatigue, general exercise fatigue, it's really a recipe for disaster. And sometimes it's that last set, instead of going, and I've seen you do it, I've trained with you, you've had 180 on it, gone to get the first rep and gone, no, I don't have it. And it's a great example of you could have pushed through it, you could have opened up for injury, but you brought it back down, and I think we did 150. And we did a couple more reps than we should have versus our rep structure, but we got the technique right, and I think we can safe to say we avoided injury on that one.
Absolutely. I mean, I've actually been caught out in the past in terms of injuring myself because my program dictated that I had 5 reps, and so I said, okay, let's get all 5. And I couldn't distinguish between absolute fatigue and technical fatigue. So I completed my 5 reps. However, I already reached technical fatigue on the first or second rep, and I just pushed through it because my ego was driving me, finish it, this is what the program is. And the next day I couldn't walk, and I had a L5 S1 bulge disc from deadlifting. And it took me a long time to recover from that. And I guess I've gained that experience, but we're trying to be proactive and help people not go through that trauma and to learn the valuable lesson of listening to your body.
That's it, and sometimes it is a very simple thing of knowing, you're not going to be in pain, and you probably had that underlying disc bulge for some time, like a lot of us do, but it is that muscle fatigue, coupled with stress, reaching the point of failure and pushing through that point that we can end up with an injury, versus saying, I'm going to step back, I know what I should do, I'm going to do it. Versus, and we've been there, I've done it. We've pushed through that last couple of sets and we've been injured.
Absolutely.
So
I think you're also mentioning earlier about cortisol and how cortisol affects us outside and inside training. You want to expand on that?
So one of the things we talk about in health is the holistic approach, versus just the injuries there and you've got pain from that or you've got problems, but how stress, anxiety influence how our body is feeling. Not only does it influence how we have pain, but it can also influence how we train. So, and all of us, we're stressed, we're overworking, we've all got life issues going on. Sometimes those life issues are just too much for us to be training through. And sometimes it means, swapping out training for a walk along the beach, for some yoga, for some meditation, coupling with some deep breathing exercises, or even just coming in and not pushing our body to the extreme, but just bringing it back 50% and allowing us to come out the other side a little bit, happier, healthier, and all-rounded, as opposed to, I'm going to work through my stress all the time with heavy lifting. Yeah. Doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it requires a lot of discipline to come into the gym in a group environment, music's blaring, you've got a set protocol in front of you, and be able to pull yourself back and not get carried away with your environment. When you have to pull back to just give back to your body, you want to keep moving, but you just don't want to exert yourself 100%. But also, we're doing workshops for our members and the outside audience as well, teaching, good habits and understanding the lift and certain cues to help you with that lift. I think there's a few things we take pride in our education and our members understanding what they're doing. And we look at, your range of movement, the strength within that range, and then having the ability to then exert force to that range. You want to expand on that?
Exactly right. So when we do, everyone gets a physical assessment, and not everyone is the same. Not everyone has the same hip range of motion. People have different hip angles. People have different lever lengths, so different size limbs versus their upper body versus the lower body. So not everyone should be doing a conventional deadlift off the floor. Some people should be raised. Some people have tighter hamstrings. So part of our process is assessing all of our clients and then advising the right sort of lift for them, and then correcting them and correcting their movement patterns around those lifts, as opposed to saying, you know, everyone has to deadlift, everyone has to do a low bar squat. We don't do that. We assess everyone, we teach everyone how to do it, and then we monitor it.
So guys, that is quality of movement over ego. Hope you've learned something today. If you have any questions, always feel free to contact us. Andrew and myself are ready and waiting.